G'day. This is my 1966 S-Type Jag. It's given to me by a client whose husband died in 2008. It's been sitting in the garage for many years, and then a couple of years it was sitting outside with a tarp over it, and the tarp has rubbed against some of the paintwork there, a few spots here and there. Now this has been modified to take a later model fuel injected engine. This is actually out of a XJ40. It's the 4 litre straight 6. And now originally, being that this was, he died in 2008, but the work had been done I think a couple of years before that, because he was actually working on another car with his son, an AC Cobra. Now he's done a lot of work underneath this car. The engine mounts have been changed, the seat mounts have been changed, the transmission tunnel's been modified to take the bigger auto. Now, how he was going to go about this I didn't agree with. He was going to basically run, and it was in the car when I got it, and I've pulled it all out, was the original, sorry, not the original, the XJ40 wiring loom. A lot of electrics, huge loom, and he was going to run the instruments from the late model and make it all sort of mold in and fit, and I just didn't like it. And currently he's got the late model steering wheel in there as well, and there are some issues with that, which I sort of have to work around. I've engaged a engineer, and I had taken the car to the engineer before I built this garage, which has only just been finished recently. And when I got the car back, it's been at another client's house. I've been doing her gardening for free for a year while the car was stored there. I got in contact with the engineer to say, yep, I'm moving forward. Now, you never sent me the list of items that you wanted me to complete. Now, I should have probably followed up on it, but you know, when you're paying these people money and they've said, yep, you'll have an email, we'll send through all the things I require you to do, and I never got that. I was in the middle of, you know, a lot of things, building this garage for one. I was the owner builder, and father-in-law was gravely ill, so we had other things on our mind. Then they wanted me to, they didn't know anything about it. Then they wanted me to take lots of photos of it again. Then they wanted me to bring the car back to them. Now they've moved out to Brayside, which is, you know, I don't know, 50 kilometers away from here, and it was like, I was pretty upset. Now they've said they're going to come to me to have a look at it again, and so I can move forward. Now, some of the things I don't like, which are going to get changed, is he's cut this bit out here for the distributor. Now, I don't have to run this type of distributor. I'm thinking of going something like a Haltech or something like that to try and simplify things. I want to run the original clocks, but there's a lot of wizardry that has to go on, and it's beyond me. I've spoken to a couple of companies, and they said it's not easy to do what I want to do, so I'll have to sort of look a little harder into it. This has also had a XJ40 K-frame swap, so it's got power steering, it's got vented disc brakes. Yeah, it's you know, he's done a fair bit to it. In the boot here, which I'm not sure how I'm going to go about this just yet, but I've got a bit to work out. He ran all this, you know, obviously you've got twin tanks in this thing, so it's running 2 pumps. Yeah, I've got a bit to work out. It has basically the XJ40 interior and spares and whatnot. Now, I mentioned that the seat mounts have been modified to take the later XJ40 seats. I'm gonna still stick with that, I think. I like the idea of having headrests, having more comfier seats. My wife and I want to tour, the wine region and things like that in it. That's the dream. And we want to be comfortable, plus safety, having the not that these are very safe cars at all, but safety of at least having a headrest. The back seats are an easy mod. I've already spoken with a motor trimmer who's agreed on a price, and he's going to basically do the full interior plus the boot. There's a lot to get my head around. We're going to tackle all the chrome work, and I'm going to fabricate, airbox, air intake systems. I've got to learn a bit about this lot because I think a lot of it can go. It doesn't need to be here. I think it's going to be a steep learning curve. The other huge issue, which is it's sort of well documented with people who have done conversions with these, is obviously the cooling situation. Can't run the viscous fan because it'll just be where the radiator needs to be. So a lot of people run a electronic fan in front of the radiator. I've got a cheap eBay radiator at the moment, just so I can dummy it up and see what works and what not. And then if I'm happy with it, then I'll go ahead and get a proper radiator made for it. Maybe a really good copper brass, not sure yet. But interested to see if anyone has any thoughts on it. Anyone know anyone who's ever done anything like this with an old Jag? I'm just sort of excited. My wife is very excited. She absolutely loves this car. She absolutely loves this car, and we sort of want to do it together. We sort of set ourselves a goal. I know the usual deal with something like this, plus whatever we say it's going to cost and what time it's going to take, then we should probably double that and add a bit more. But we're sort of up for the challenge. I just sort of start something on this because it was kind of exciting getting it back and having a really good look at it, because when I got the car from the lady and brought it back, I didn't have this garage, and I had the garage at the front where our cars are normally parked, and it was dark in there. It was hard to see. I had a lot of stuff stored on top of this car. I couldn't really get around the car to look at it so much. So when I got it in here, the first thing I did was jack it up, took the wheels off, had a real good look at why things were doing certain things when I was moving it about. Seems a lot of things were just hand tightened on this just so they could move it around. So it was lucky I went and had a real good look. Had a good look underneath, trying to figure out, there's been apparently a tail shaft made for it. I haven't figured out the combination yet because I've got a number of tail shafts and I've got to sort of figure out which one's the right one. So, a bit to do. But look, the work underneath the car has been done. All the modifications have been done. It's all been welded in, body deadener, all that sort of stuff. So really, I've got to concentrate on the engine bay, the trimming, all of that sort of stuff. A lot of that is just a process. Put a door on the bench and start putting it together. If I'm happy that it's all good, then I'll pull it all apart again, get it all looking nice, and then put it back together again. It's kind of exciting. If anyone has experience with this, I'd love to hear from you. I really can't wait. So we'll see what happens. The engineer will be here next week. And when I've had the engineer here and got an update, then I will update my YouTube channel, and we'll go forward from there. Anyway, hopefully it doesn't take forever, but I know it will take a while. Anyway, cheers. Thanks for watching.